Alright, so today I'm just going to do a review on the Braaap mx-125. So Braaap is an Australian company, and I actually bought this bike a couple of years ago. So I've had it for a while, but I've only ridden it maybe a few times. So I bought this bike. I ordered it in just before, I think actually it was during COVID, so 2020. And yeah, so I ordered it, and it took about over a year. It took around a year for me to get it, to actually receive it. And so first review item is the company. And so you'd think that if I ordered a bike and it took a year to get, you know, that I'd be a bit ticked off about that. But I actually wasn't. I mean, one, because I knew it was, you know, COVID and all of that. But second, it's dealing with the company. So the company was really great to deal with. Like I said, it's an Australian company, and every person that I've dealt with felt like, you know, I knew them. It felt like it was just a guy down the street. You know, when the guy is trying to call me to get it delivered, and he's telling me how, you know, I told him I was out, and he's like, alright, I'll just drop another one off, and just, you know, I don't know, maybe it was because it's the first time I've sort of made this sort of purchase with an Australian company. But it just felt like talking to a regular Aussie, and that's kind of, I guess, what I'm trying to get at. And second thing was, I actually ordered the 110, so the 110cc, and they mistakenly, well, I don't know if it was a mistake. Actually, they were very transparent about it. Because the company is designed in Australia. It's an Australian company, but it's assembled overseas, so to get cheaper labor. Now, does that mean it's cheap? Well, price-wise it's cheap, but does that mean it's cheap quality? It's not. So, to me, there's a big difference when there's an offshore company making something compared to when it's, you know, like an Australian company or an American company, which designs it, which specifies what parts to put on, you know, and it's simply just being made in another country. So quality-wise, I'm really happy with it. Company-wise, like I said, they were very transparent. They said, look, we ordered all of these MX-110s, and then we realized when we opened the container that they were all MX-125s. And the difference is, it's just the height was a little higher, and obviously the bigger engine. And, you know, the lady, very nice lady, she's saying, well, you know, is that a problem? And I think it's not. I mean, I got a bike for, you know, I thought I had to send it back. But she's like, no, you can just keep it. I think this one was $300 more than what I ordered. The 110 was like $300 less. And yeah, so you know, she said, you know, that's what we ordered. Is that a problem? So secondly, it was a little bit of a problem because I bought it for my son, but it actually turned out to be a blessing. So it was actually good. But because I bought it for my son, and the height is a little bigger, a little higher, and the engine's got a little bit more power. And so, you know, teaching my son who's never ridden before, he was a bit overwhelmed by it. It was a bit scary for him, actually, which I guess takes me to the next thing, which is the reliability and the durability. So I can tell this bike is good quality. The parts are quality, you know. I've ridden like a cheap Chinese scooter, and you know, it was so bad that I couldn't even, because I never ridden a scooter before. I thought the back brake was the front. You know, the front's supposed to have the more power, but the front had nothing. So I'm like, oh, this, you know, the front must be on the left. Turns out, no, I was right. The front brake is on the right. It just didn't work very well. So so the quality on this bike is quite good. Like, it's quite durable, and you know, this is the first time I've had my dirt bike. I've had a dirt bike, and it's for my son, as I said, and I've never actually ridden. You know, I've never ridden. I don't ride dirt bikes. This is the first time I've ridden one. Not first time, but you know, owning one, and I haven't been that good with it. I've made some mistakes in terms of how I've been handling it, and you know, banging it up a bit, and you know, so it's been banged up a bit because I just didn't know what I'm doing, and you know, things that I thought would have broken. You know, I thought I would have had a warped brake disc because of just the way I've been banging it around, and because of the mistakes I've made, and the way I'm handling it and putting it on the car trailer. But it can handle a beating. The next thing in terms of performance is, you know, I told them, because it was a bit too big for my son. It took him a while. He's riding it now, but you know, it took him a while. So I called the company. I said, "Oh, do I need a bigger suspension? I want to start riding it." And they said, "No, it's built for adults, so it can take 130 kilos." So that was good. So this is the mx-110, little sort of small dirt bike, can take 120 kilos for adults. Now I wouldn't go full on enduro or, you know, motocross on it. Especially with my weight, but you know, I've ridden with me and my son on the back on this, so I'm about 95 kilos with all the, you know, the helmet and gear and stuff. My son's, I don't know, what, 40 kilos, maybe 45 with all the gear, and we ride it around. Now, price wise, it's cheaper. It's sort of, it's not like a cheap Chinese, and it's not like, you know, like Japanese, well-known Japanese, like a Honda CF, you know, 110 or something. So they're quite expensive. So this one sits in the middle, but actually more down to the lower end, price-wise. It's not as cheap as you know, the ones that you can get, the cheap Chinese ones that you can get, but it's not as expensive as, you know, the Hondas and the Yamahas and things like that. And you know, they give you a lifetime warranty, and so it's a lifetime warranty, and they just make the claim that it's as good as, you know, the Japanese brands. So you know, and to me, I believe, I mean, it's carbureted. I don't know if the other ones are as well, the Japanese ones. So I guess there's just a little bit of fiddling and tuning, but it's fine. I mean, you know, it does the job. So so that's the performance. It's got decent torque. I mean, I don't know how fast I'm going. I don't know how you know, how much it revs out. You know, so and I probably don't have the skills to push. I'm only in second gear, but it's clutchless, so it's a 4-speed, no clutch. So, and the last thing on performance is, when you look at it, you just look at the bike, and you can tell that there are good, you know, like there's good quality on there. You know, it looks sporty, the way the exhaust is sitting and the intake, and you know, it's got well-known fuel system. You know, the brakes look, you know, they look like they can really do the job. So yeah, like I said, Australian company. You know, I think if you're Australian, you need to own a Braaap dirt bike, or a Braaap. They make other bikes as well, but I typically ride you know, super sport bikes, as you know, but they make like more like you know, commuter type bikes. I think they want to do an electric bike. They're very good in the with keeping in touch with the community. You know, they have you know, webcasts and things like that. They have calls that a lot of people join, and it feels like a family company. Like, it feels like you're dealing with someone in the family. So would I buy another one? Definitely. So as my son is getting better at riding this one, I'll be doing less riding on this, and I want to take a look at what they have in, you know, like a full size you know, dirt bike or enduro or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it, and I hope you like this video. Please, if you like my content, please subscribe, hit like. It helps my channel. Comment, make some comments, and take it easy and ride safe.